What happens when life is over? Is there a glimpse of the afterlife that we all miss? One woman experienced an extraordinary journey when she passed away, only to return with a story that could transform your understanding of life, death, and what comes before Jesus returns. Her near-death experience, NDE, offers profound insights into what awaits us and how we can prepare our hearts and minds for what lies ahead. Let's get into the details of her life-changing experience, and the messages that she brought back to the world. The moment she left her body, everything changed. It wasn't the cold, dark void that some may imagine. Instead, she felt a warmth surrounding her, a feeling of deep peace. There was no fear, no pain. It was as though her soul had been released from the weight of her physical form. Floating above her own body, she could see everything happening below her. The medical staff frantically worked to revive her, but from her perspective, it was almost as if time had slowed down, and she had all the time in the world to observe what was happening. She describes the sensation as a gentle release from the limitations of the physical world. She felt unburdened, free, and more connected than ever. This sensation of freedom and peace was unlike anything she had experienced during her lifetime. It was in this state that she was met by figures of light, beings whose presence was comforting, without a word being spoken. The light around them wasn't harsh, it was warm and inviting, drawing her closer with an irresistible pull. It was clear that this was not the end but rather the beginning of a new understanding. These beings, while not overtly speaking to her, communicated through emotions and images. They shared with her that the physical world is only one dimension, and beyond it lies an expansive, interconnected existence where everything is governed by love, compassion, and understanding. It was as if she had entered another realm, where time, space, and earthly concerns no longer mattered. As she continued to observe the world below her, she experienced a deep sense of gratitude for everything she had lived through. Even the challenging moments in her life, which once seemed like obstacles, appeared in a new light. She saw them as necessary steps in her soul's journey, things that had shaped her into who she had become. This newfound perspective allowed her to realize that the struggles we face on earth are not punishments, but rather opportunities for growth and evolution. As she ventured deeper into this divine realm, the world around her transformed into something beyond description. The colors were unlike any she had seen before, more vibrant, radiant, and alive than anything on earth. The air was filled with a peaceful hum, a harmonious sound that resonated deep within her soul. Everything felt eternal, as though this realm had always existed, but only now had she gained the eyes to see it. In this space, she was greeted by beings of pure light, angelic figures that radiated warmth and love. These beings didn't need to speak words, their presence alone conveyed an immense understanding of the universe, of life, and of human nature. They communicated with her through emotions, through an exchange of energy that transcended the limitations of language. They explained that love is the most powerful force in existence and that all things, living or otherwise, are connected through it. As she looked around, she could see the joy and peace in the faces of all the beings in this heavenly realm. It was a place filled with unconditional love, where the limitations of earthly existence no longer applied. No one was judged, there was no hatred, jealousy, or fear. Instead, there was only an overwhelming sense of unity, understanding, and peace. She began to realize that this was the essence of heaven, not a specific place, but a state of being, of experiencing the universe in its purest form. While in this heavenly realm, she was also shown glimpses of other souls who were there, some of whom she recognized. It was as though she had entered a place where past, present, and future existed simultaneously. She understood that every life was part of a greater tapestry, each thread woven together by experiences, choices, and the connections we make throughout our existence. In one of the most significant parts of her experience, she was shown a vision of what was to come. The world was in turmoil, wars, chaos, and suffering seemed to be everywhere. People were divided, and fear seemed to rule over reason and compassion. But from this darkness, a bright light began to shine, filling the sky. It was a light so pure and powerful that it cut through all the chaos, bringing peace to everyone it touched. As the light grew brighter, she realized that it was not just a symbol of hope, it was a manifestation of the return of Jesus. In this vision, she saw Jesus not as a distant figure, but as a loving, compassionate presence that filled the world with peace. He didn't come with judgment, but with understanding and grace, calling everyone to come together in love and unity. The vision revealed that the time before his return would be one of great transformation, where people would be called to reflect on their lives and align themselves with the highest truths of love and compassion. People from all walks of life were drawn to the light, and as they approached, they were healed of their fears, their pains, and their struggles. It was a moment of global renewal, a time when the world would finally unite under the banner of love and understanding. This wasn't just a far-off event, it was something that could happen within their lifetimes, and it was already beginning to take shape. The signs were all around them, in the way people were beginning to open their hearts to one another, and in the increasing awareness of the need for compassion in the world. The beings of light who had accompanied her during her journey reassured her that this vision wasn't something to fear. Instead, it was something to prepare for. It was a reminder that every act of kindness, every choice made with love, contributes to the coming transformation of the world. The return of Jesus would not be a dramatic, fearful event, but a moment of peace and unity, something that could be witnessed and participated in by all who were ready to accept love as the guiding principle of their lives. Despite the peace and beauty of the divine realm, she knew her journey wasn't over. She felt herself being gently pulled back to her physical body, like a magnet drawing her soul down to earth. It was a difficult transition, as she didn't want to leave the comfort and peace she had just experienced. But she understood that her purpose on earth was not finished yet. There were things she still needed to do, lessons she needed to learn, and people she needed to help. Waking up in the hospital bed, she was overwhelmed with emotion. The experiences she had just gone through felt so real, so vivid, that it was hard to believe she was back in the world she had left behind. But even though the physical reality around her seemed unchanged, she now carried within her a profound sense of purpose and a deep understanding of what truly matters. Her life from that point on would never be the same. The beings of light had given her a message to take back with her, one that she would carry with her for the rest of her life. They told her that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always a greater plan at work, one that is guided by love and compassion. They also reminded her that each person has the power to contribute to the greater good, simply by living with kindness and understanding. With this newfound wisdom, she set out to live a life of purpose and service. She dedicated herself to helping others, knowing that her experience had not been for her alone. It was a message for the world, a call for all to live with love and compassion, for in doing so, they would help bring about the transformation that was already beginning to take shape. Upon her return to normal life, she felt an overwhelming need to share her experience. There was no hesitation in her mind, she knew that her near-death experience had a purpose beyond her own personal growth. She was meant to spread the message of love, compassion, and unity that she had received during her journey. While some were skeptical, she remained steadfast in her belief that her experience was real. It wasn't about proving anything to others, it was about offering a message of hope and healing to a world that so desperately needed it. She began to speak publicly, sharing her story with anyone who would listen. As she spoke, she noticed that more and more people began to open their hearts. She could see a shift happening within her surrounding and beyond. People were starting to realize the power of love, of kindness, and of living with intention. They were beginning to understand that they too could play a role in the greater transformation that was happening on Earth. Her message resonated with people from all walks of life. Whether they were religious, spiritual, or not particularly aligned with any belief system, the universal truth of her experience was undeniable. Love is the answer to every problem we face, and when we accept it, we become part of something much greater than ourselves. This woman's NDE is a powerful reminder that there is more to life than what we see with our eyes. The messages she brought back are timeless and relevant today: love, compassion, unity, and the realization that we are all connected. The vision of Jesus' return is not a distant event but something that can happen in our lifetime, should we choose to live in alignment with these truths. Let us all recall the lesson she brought back: to live with love, to be kind, and to support one another in building a better world. If this story has touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring messages.